in your lives.
And the Lord restored the fortunes of Job when he prayed for his friends, and the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Job 42:10. If you are hearing this, your breakthrough is closer than you think. This is not coincidence. Heaven has guided you to this moment because something you thought was lost forever is already on its way back to you. But it will not return as it left you. It will return multiplied, sevenfold. This is the reward of God's chosen one. You once had a season where everything seemed to fade at once. People you trusted turned silent. Opportunities vanished like smoke. It wasn't just the loss of things. It was the feeling that heaven had gone quiet. You prayed, but the answers came in whispers. You tried to rebuild, but each time you stood, another wave came. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You didn't realize it then, but the silence of God was not rejection. It was formation. He was hiding you while he shaped you. Every delay was divine design. Every heartbreak, a hidden teaching. And through it all, your spirit did not break. That endurance, that is what marked you as chosen. Then, one night you began to see signs. Dreams that felt too real to ignore. Numbers repeating, moments aligning, as if the universe was breathing in rhythm with your heart. You'd feel an unseen presence when you prayed, calm yet powerful. You'd walk into rooms and feel an invisible hand turn your spirit toward the light. You were being called higher, but not to a throne built by men, to a purpose written by heaven. The Lord whispered, "Do not fear the losses, for what I take in one season, I return in glory in the next." Your calling began not when you succeeded, but when you refused to quit. But before reward there was wilderness. Before blessing there was breaking. The chosen must walk through fire to be purified. There came a time when you stood alone, stripped of identity, stripped of comfort, unsure of who you were. It was not the world that abandoned you. It was heaven that hid you, because diamonds form in darkness. Every no you heard, every door that closed, every silence that felt unbearable, was God protecting you from things that would have dimmed your light. He was pruning what could not go with you. He was removing what was never meant to return. You thought you were losing, but you were being refined. Then suddenly, one morning, everything began to shift. People who once ignored you begin to speak your name with respect. Opportunities that vanished suddenly reappear in greater form. Resources, relationships, peace, returning not as before but multiplied. The same God who allowed the storm is now commanding the calm. He is saying, "This is the time of the sevenfold return." You lost money, but gained wisdom that can't be stolen. You lost people, but heaven replaced them with destiny connections. You lost peace, but now you carry authority. Your pain was currency. Your tears were seeds, and now the harvest has come. The world will not understand how you survived, but you will know it was never luck. It was the hand of God. You are not behind schedule. You are right on divine time. Every loss, every delay, every silent night was heaven writing your story in unseen ink. Now, as the light returns to your life, remember this truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to rise as evidence that God still restores, still redeems, and still rewards his chosen ones. Everything you lost will return sevenfold, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are.